Hi everyone, this is Jim. In this video I wanted to review some of the games that I played in the past week and talk about things that went right and went wrong. Starting with, this is the game actually I played in the last video, so that was a week ago. And I had the black pieces here, my opponent had the white pieces, and white won by about 20 points. So, I was kind of looking at this and trying to figure out where I could have gotten back 20 points. So one thing I noticed right after the game was that, I think I may have mentioned this, this area here had about 30 points. And so if I could have prevented that from growing so large, then that would have been a 20-point swing right there. But there are other places. For example, these corner invasions, they look kind of small, in the big picture of things. But if you look at the points here, well, first of all, let's count the territory. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Plus all these stones that take points away from my territory. So that 8 points, like if I kept that whole corner, I would have those 8 points, and my opponent would not have those 8 points. So that's a 16-point swing right there. Plus, wherever white placed a stone, and wherever I placed a stone to surround it, that's another point that I'm losing, right? Each of these white stones is taking away from my territory. So many stones do you place? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's 10 stones plus 8 points of territory. So that's a total of 26 points in that corner. And a similar thing happened to this corner. So if I could have saved just one of those corners, that would have been enough to change the outcome of the game. And then a third point is that I had a potential for a large area here. One of the viewers pointed this out in a comment. If I could have just stopped white from invading and coming into this area here, then that also would have been potentially a 20-point swing. Yeah, you can see that's clearly more than 20 points there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8 points of territory for white, plus all the stones that are surrounding it. Again, that looks like a 30-point swing right there, if not more. So those are the kind of things that, large-scale operations that could have made the difference in this game. So let's go back to the beginning and talk about a few specifics as we play. What moves could I have played differently? So we start out, both of us are playing in a kind of a similar style, grabbing territory on the sides, or staking out potential territory on the sides. It's not territory yet, of course. And then I decide to invade and break up his territory, and he steps out here. And my next move at B17 here is actually a mistake. In fact, I looked this up in the Joseki dictionary, and black can play over here, but maybe it's not so good if white already has a stone here. But like the third choice for black is to play right underneath. If I'm going to play on this side, I should play close here, because there's, I guess there's no need for me to play this far back. And I'm not gaining any territory when I'm placing a stone on the second line. So anyway, the Joseki dictionary labeled that move as a mistake. So that's one example. So this would not be a 20-point swing, but it would give me a little more space in the corner. Maybe I could even consider coming out like this. But say if I just pull back and make a solid wall here, I still have, ideas of making a living group in the corner, and also I'm looking to the outside. He doesn't have me shut in on the outside. Whereas the way it went in the game, he was able to pretty easily cut me off. Let's play through this. He keeps me surrounded here, and I only get a small amount of territory in the corner. So, I did get some territory, but white got all of the outside. So that was a good outcome for white. But that was not a 20-point swing. But, a few smaller things could also add up to 20 points as well. So you should always try and get the best you can out of each corner invasion. Let's see. So we go through another sequence here. I approached this corner, and he defended it. And then he kind of branched in here to split up my group, and I came out on top because I didn't want him having too much outside influence, and then came over to this side. I think this outcome is okay. I'm giving him the corner, but I'm getting some influence here. The only thing I have to worry about is making sure this group lives. And then I went to the other side of the board. So let's go forward. And he invaded in the corner. I think this corner invasion is correct in the sense that there's nothing black can do to stop white from taking this corner with the 3-3 invasion. This is a very typical kind of invasion. And you know, I don't know if that's the best move in the board for white, but definitely white can gain those points. And what I gain is influence on the outside. So I think I did reasonably well in this corner. There's still a cut here that white could play. Let's back up, move. Yeah, white could maybe cut here, and I haven't completely sealed this off. But I guess it's close enough. It's not clear where that stone could run to. But the let's see, I would have to check the ladder. Maybe the ladder runs into these stones over here, so maybe you can't cut there right now. I guess that's the case. Yeah, if you look at a diagonal running across here, it runs into these stones. Huh. Okay, so he actually can't cut there, but at some point, maybe if he places a stone in here, I need to protect that cut. But in general, this is an okay result for black, giving up this space in the corner, but you know, there's potential territory here and influence. So I think that was all right. I think my next mistake was right here. Well, is this a mistake or not? We can debate this one. When white played this move, my stone here is not on the 4-4 point, it's on the 4-3, and he's approaching it from the outside. So a pretty natural response here, and probably the most common move, is just to block and hold on to the corner. I was a little worried about doing this because I thought this is a small amount of territory for me. But you know, I have ideas here. First of all, if I'll get a secure base here in the corner, and he could do two things, one of two things. He could branch out here, or white could also try and stay on top like this, but and then maybe branch out. So something like that. I get a little bit of space over here. He tries to live over here. But what I can do is I can also come up this way, and I can keep these two groups separated. These three stones here are not yet alive, and so they're sort of a weak group that I can harass, and this is not yet alive, and it's kind of a weak group I can harass. And I can run out to the center while keeping these groups separated and still keep some territory in the corner. So I think that's would have been maybe an easier way for me to play. The way I played it is, I guess it's still okay. Let's see what I did. I took the outside here and gave up the corner. I just was pointing out that I really didn't have to give up the corner, and that 20-point swing from taking that corner might have made the difference in the game. So that's why it might have been easier. But I did get this, you know, big area of potential here. So if I could really capitalize on this area, then that would be worth giving up that second corner. This territory for that corner would be a worthwhile trade, but I have to somehow keep all this territory, or turn all this potential into territory, and that was something I failed at during the game. And this is a second comment from the person who commented on the video, the previous week's video, is that I really should have stopped his invasion. So my idea here, you know, I wasn't really trying to stop it. What I was trying to do was run some stones along this way and run some stones along this way, trying to keep him from gaining any territory in the center, and at the same time making sure that I get life for this group, which is still not alive yet, although it's getting closer to being alive. And he staked out a pretty big clump of territory with that stone there. I didn't really challenge that. But I was worried about making life with these stones. So I played some moves over here. And now, you know, I should have been happy to call this group alive. Although I can't say, I'm not good enough a go to say 100% with 100% confidence that this group is alive. But it looks to me like if white tries to place some stones inside here to kill this group, it looks too large to me to actually kill. So right here, I took an opportunity to stop playing directly in this group and played this move with the idea of maybe linking this group up with some of these stones over here. And that gave white the opportunity to place a stone out here and grow his invasion some more. So another idea for me is to say, okay, we'll leave this alone. Don't worry about connecting over here. I was a bit worried about this space. So one idea would be to come over here and see if I can just split up this group. He might try to capture that stone. Can I run out? Yeah, maybe that's a little too deep. Maybe I could have come in here. Anyway, you'd have to calculate out that sequence, of course, to make sure this stone is alive and can't be captured, because otherwise it just adds to his territory. But something like this might reduce his territory. Anyway, that was one idea. And another idea here, instead of going there, is to just try and cap this group. Maybe come right on top here, or maybe back off a bit and come in this direction, and just say, I'm going to mark off all this territory as mine, and I'm just not going to let these stones run out. If they start running out in any direction, I should be able to block them off. And if they try to break through, I should be able to surround this group of stones and kill it. So I'm thinking that I could have done a better job of protecting this area. So in the actual game, I played here, and he invaded. And as we watched this unfold, I still had this idea. I was just kind of shepherding these stones along. I really did not have the mindset of trying to prevent them from invading at all. I guess I didn't realize how close I was to, how much territory I needed to gain in order to win. And so, I did what I could to reduce that, prevent him from gaining territory here. But I was thinking really I would just have territory on the side. And that's why at the end, it was when he got all of this territory over here. I assumed that was the difference. But if I could have stopped this invasion sooner, then I would have had a corresponding amount of territory to compensate for all the territory I gave up over here. And let's see, there might have been one other point here where instead of responding to every little threat to cut here, I could have at this point tried jumping in and reducing his area as well. So anyway, those are a couple ideas how I could have done better in this game. Let's play through to the end. Yeah, I think we just at this point are just doing some end game moves, and none of these moves are 20-point moves. I think I did okay in this part. He also did well, getting the max out of it. You want to get the best you can out of it, out of each position that you have. You want to optimize it in the end game. Grab every point you can, but there wasn't 20 points to be had anymore in the game, so it was basically settled already at this point. Let's see, play it out to the end. Yeah, okay, so that's the end of the game, and you can see, this big territory here that I never did reduce. And then his invasion here was very successful in reducing my territory. So anyway, interesting game last week. Let's go back. I played some other games this week that had a few interesting points. I didn't, unfortunately, get to record a game. None of the recordings worked out, but there were a couple of interesting games. This was just a 13 by 13 game, but it had a cute point that I wanted to show. Let's see, I think I ended up losing this game by 7.5 points. Is that right? Let's check the score again. Bombastic. Yeah, I won by 7.5. What happened here? Oh, I think no, he won by 7.5. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I thought I lost that game. Okay, so let's take a look at this one. This is a 13 by 13 game. I have the black pieces, and we're doing some pretty normal stuff. I've got an invasion going over here on the side, and I also have some territory over on the other side that I'm trying to keep. And now I'm holding on to these corners. Corners are much more important in the smaller games, so I'm doing what I can to defend these corners. And this is one interesting point. This is often a weak spot in this formation. Has started with a 4-4 point. I approached, and he kicked, and I blocked, and then I got this little territory on the side. It's not yet territory. I still have to play some moves, but that's potential territory there. The corner is not entirely secure, and there's a weak spot here at the 3-3 point, and sometimes you can just play there. and he blocked on this side. Maybe not the best response. He could try to cut instead and then isolate the stone, but I guess he didn't want me trying to branch out on this side, or come underneath these stones. So he blocked on this side, and then I get to Hane underneath and connect, and I was doing that with Atari. So I actually capture the stone and invade his corner and get a few points. So I'm doing pretty good here. And I was thinking I was doing all right in this game. Although he's made some nice space over on this side of the board and on the bottom. So let's continue. And I'll get to the critical point that I wanted to show in this game. So we're sort of getting into in-game moves in a way. We're kind of surrounding each other's territory and trying to maximize our territory, maximize our space. And well, this is the point. He just played here. I blocked, and then he defended the corner. And then you always have to look at whether there's a possible cut here. If white plays a stone, well, let's see, I played one more stone elsewhere. If white places a stone here, then I was thinking I could cut it off. First of all, it's an Atari on this stone, so it might go like this. He goes here, I go here, he goes here, I go here, he goes here. I can capture it. So he can't actually kill anything, and I can end up capturing that stone. If he tries to, let's see, he goes here, I go here. If he tries to go in this direction, and I'll capture this way. So that stone isn't going anywhere, so I don't have to worry about that cut at the moment. And I just start extending this group and trying to limit his territory. Let's see. The other way you might try to cut is on this side, but then I just connect here, and then this stone can't run anywhere. Yeah, I can just capture that stone. So there's no invasion at this point. But let's fast forward in the game. So, I just am extending out here, and then I'm trying to make some territory on this side, and he blocks here. And I was thinking, oh, he's just blocking me from extending on this side some more. So I just continued to maximize my territory on this side, but I overlooked something. There's a subtle point into this last move that white made. His last move was right here. And this move contains a threat, and I did not respond to the threat when I played over here. So can you see what the threat was? There's a little tactics quiz for you in Go. Okay, I'm going to give the answer away. You can pause the video here if you want to stop and think about it. But his idea is to play a stone right here, which is what he did. He played right there. And now if I just extend like I was planning to do, he captures this group. That was what that last stone did. If we back up to the game, when white played here, he was taking away the last outside liberty of this group. So now, let's see, I played over here. Now white's next move at this point is a double Atari. It's attacking this stone, and it's attacking this whole group. So I have to connect, and then he grabs this stone, and so that's a successful invasion. Let's see, I can well, he didn't take right away. He extended first, so he maximized his invasion. I blocked, and so he ate up some points here. Maybe not 7 points. I think I calculated it was 6 points he gained there. But anyway, it would change the game to one that was very close. And maybe there's another place in the game where I had a point or two. But I just wanted to show that tactic. And let's see, is the rest of the game? And what's the point? The point is, if you've protected a cut by some means, you have to keep in mind all the conditions that mean that cut is still protected. And one of the conditions was that this group still had some outside liberties. As long as that group had some outside liberties, that cut was protected But when he took away that last liberty, you have to, have a little flag set to say, oh, you've got to come back and protect the cut again. So I would have had to spend a move there anyway, but it would have been better than giving up the 5 or 6 points that I lost there to the invasion. Okay, one more game I wanted to look at, and this one was a full-sized game. It was this one. Okay. And I won this game, so I'm not showing all my losses, but definitely I made some mistakes here. Let's see, I had black in this game, and well, white played in the corners. We get a pretty normal Joseki over here. I think this is pretty standard. I have a 4-3 point, and this is one of the standard approaches and one of the standard Joseki. So I've secured the corner, and white has influence to the outside and makes some space over here. So I think the corner play in this game was okay. This corner is still a little weak, but I already had a stone over on this side, so I didn't want to back off. Maybe I should have played here, but anyway, because this kick leaves this invasion point open. But that's okay for now. I don't think that was a critical point in the game. Let's go forward, and he's done an interesting thing over here. He's actually kind of grabbing a lot of space, potentially, if he can build out in this direction. So I'm a little bit concerned about this, but first I want to make sure that I've got some space over here and his group doesn't grow too large. So he invaded in the middle, and this is kind of an interesting sequence. I thought this invasion would not work, and I did eventually capture that stone, but it was a lot longer and harder than I thought. So watch how this goes. He goes there, and I just Atari and cut this group off. So this group is 3 stones. It's a solid group that is isolated, and it's surrounded on all sides by black stones. But well, now it's expanded to 4 stones, and he tries to branch out, and I just try to cut. So I'm just going all out to kill this. Because I think it's important. First of all, I'll lose these 3 stones over here, and his corner will grow to be huge. So I think I need to kill it, and I think I have got it cut off here. But he keeps finding clever ways to counterattack, and it came down to a capturing race. 1, 2, 3. This group has 3 liberties, and 1, 2, 3. This group has 3 liberties, but it's my turn. So it's really just by 1 move that I'm able to capture this group, and still, even after defending that, he's down to 2 liberties, and I have 2 liberties, and it's my move. So is that true? No, I have 3 liberties, yeah, and he has 2 liberties. It's his move. So now it's 2 and 2, but it's my move. And I go on the outside here, and this last internal liberty is I'm going to be able to claim it before he does. So eventually I managed to capture that group, and so this gave me a good start to this game. But after a few moves, he comes back to this corner. And like I mentioned, I played this kick here, so this corner has some weaknesses, and he exploits this really well. He jumps in here first, and I go to the outside. Maybe once again, I should have just protected the corner with a move like that. Although that does seem like it's giving up this stone, so I didn't really want to give up that stone. Let's see. So I jumped out like that, and played a few more stones over here, and then he approaches the corner further, and I try to connect underneath like this. So I'd be happy if these stones were connected to these stones, and then I'm looking to the outside. I have the corner, but well, this is a very fragile diagonal wall here, and he just cuts right through it. And at some point, he wins the whole corner. Yeah, at this point, he's actually won the corner. This stone can't escape, and there's a ko here, but fighting that ko doesn't really gain me a whole lot. It's just really a 1-point ko from my point of view. So I lost that corner. So let's back up, and so that kind of makes up for this mistake he made over here. I made a mistake in giving up that corner. There were other ways I had to save that corner, I think. Let's see. Even after he cuts here, I could have come underneath like this, maybe. Over here. And if I just try and protect, then he can extend. So those stones are going to be lost. At this point, I'm already going to have to give up something. Where did I play? I played out here. Maybe I could have tried playing something like this. You can capture there. I can come underneath. And, well, I still lose the corner, but I think I come out slightly better than I did in the game. But basically the point is I should have done something earlier here. Let's see. Maybe when he responded here once again, where did I play? I played underneath. Yeah, I think that was what I was doing wrong. I was trying too hard to connect these two groups. He's effectively split them, and I really need to save them separately. So once again, a move like this to save the corner, and then if he tries to surround this group, I can come out in this direction. I can threaten to connect over here. I probably have enough ways to live with this group. So that might have been a better defense. Anyway, in the game, I lose the corner, and we get into a situation where we're probably about equal. He made a mistake here, I made a mistake here, and the game continues. And it gets to this interesting point where this group did get cut off from the corner, so I had to make life. So I made an eye here, and actually I managed to extend to the point where I can connect up over here to these stones. And so now my group is alive, but well, he gained some territory over here, and I'm just trying to reduce the amount of territory he gets on the side, and I'm building some territory in this area as well. I still have this big group, which is a lot of influence on the bottom side. Let's go forward, and yeah, I think I did a decent job over here of expanding. And then, and I'm building territory on this side. So I think this side over here is where the focus of the game shifts in the end, and that's where kind of the final play happens. So, oh yeah, this was a nice move here. I was looking for moves to reduce his territory. He's got, potentially a large area here, and this is a monkey jump. This jump of 2 stones. It looks like it's too far, but if white tries to cut it, those stones have nowhere to run, so it actually lives over there, and makes a big reduction. That's like 8 points in white's territory there. So and then I approached on this side, so I've kind of shrunk that from both sides, and he gains as much territory back as he can, and then I switch my attention here. I want to keep his corner from expanding and build some territory in the center there. I think I was successful at that. Although he did invade a little more. Yeah, maybe I could have prevented that cut there somehow. But I still got some territory here and some territory here, and he expanded out of the corner a little bit, more than I would have liked, but maybe that was unstoppable. Okay, so let's back up. This was at the point after I finished sealing this border here. He came and turned his attention to this area. This is good. This is like my biggest area, and he's trying to reduce it. So I block, and he comes here. So he's kind of defining the territory over here while reducing it. So he switched to the other side here, defining his territory on this side, preventing me from invading, and expanding over here. So I think he was playing this part well. He's just pushing everywhere he can, getting the most. And I really don't know who was better at this point. I think this is a point where it would be really good to have an accurate count, because if I knew that I was ahead, I could play simply here. So he pushed. Let's back up one move. He's once again probing at my weaknesses over here and reducing my territory, and he played this move, and I think this is a good move. It's connected to these stones because it's a diagonal move with both those squares are open, so that's connected, and it's probing 2 weaknesses. It's probing this weakness over here and this weakness over here, and I have to kind of decide which way I want to protect. And I protected in this direction. Yeah, given what happened in the game, it might have been better to protect in this direction, but let's go on. Say I play this, and then he pushes in this direction. Right here is kind of a critical point. I could just play here, and that would secure all of this area, and that would give up these 2 stones. Just give them up, and that would allow white to expand this area. So I don't know if that was a playable move, in the sense that if I do this, does that area I give white, does that mean he's winning the game, or does that mean that I'm winning the game? So that's why a good count would be really important at this point, because if I knew that, then I could know I could play this move. This would be like the safe move, and if I was still ahead in territory, I could play that way. I still don't know. Actually, I haven't done the count here, so I don't know. I'm just saying that this is why counting is such a useful skill in Go, is that in a case like this, and when you have an easy move that you can make to secure your territory and block your opponent in and just sacrifice a couple stones, but it's near the end of the game. You need to know if you're winning or not before you play that move. Otherwise, you might want to take some more risk and try to hold on to those stones. Anyway, I didn't see that I was losing those stones, and I tried to hold on to them by extending here. That connects these stones to these 3, but that allows them to push through, and now he's disconnected this group from this group, and that's actually a much bigger loss than just those 2 stones. So maybe what I said was wrong, actually. Even without counting, if I had just been able to calculate ahead a few moves, I would have realized that that by connecting here, he's going to push through, and that's going to cause much more damage than merely giving up those 2 stones. So maybe it's just a simple question of having better judgment and Go. Anyway, he pushed through, and this I thought was going to be okay for me because I'm connected over here, and he starts pushing, and I block on this side, and I was just going to run him to the wall here and capture him, and then I realized, oh, that doesn't capture because he's connected to the outside. So this is one of those things, if somebody has pushed through your wall and it's from a group that's safe, that it's connected to the outside, or to a group that has liberties, then you're in big trouble. Basically, you need to back off and find a way to block it. So at this point, I didn't block until we get to here. And so he made a big invasion. And in fact, this whole group, if you look at it now, this whole group has been cut off from this group. And because of the way I defended against that invasion, which was not very well, this group does not have 2 eyes. I have 1 eye, and there's a ko over here. So, I would have to fight a ko for that second eye. And that's just not happening. I don't have enough really good ko threats. So anyway, I have to give up that group. But, well, I did notice one thing, which is that this group here that's invading is kind of short on liberties, and this group that has only 1 eye here, and he's about to take it away, still has a few liberties. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 liberties in this group. So, and then this group only has 2 liberties, but it can connect to the outside. But, well, it takes a few steps to connect. So I started laying plans to attack this group, and I started with this move, so that forces him to connect. And then I play here, and that's to prevent these stones from connecting over here. And he blocked. I extended. He blocked to this side. He didn't want to give up a point here. So he was just holding on to all the points. He didn't yet sense the danger. And he's still okay at this point. But right now he has to connect in the right way. Let's see. He played this move, blocking me. And, if he plays here, maybe he's thinking he'll gain an extra point of territory. But actually that loses. And can you see the winning idea here for black? So it's black's turn to move. What's the winning move here? Okay, pause the video if you want time to think about it. I'm going to give the answer away. Yeah, you play the move here, and that threatens to kill this group. It only has 1 liberty. Your next move you're going to play there, and capture that group. And he can't capture any of these outside groups. This has 2 liberties, this has lots of liberties, and this has 1, 2, 3 liberties. So all the groups surrounding this guy have 3 liberties, 2 or 3 liberties. So there's no big threat he can make to save that group. All he can do is capture that stone, and then you get the giant snapback. So that was the thing, and he resigned after that because that changes the whole tenor of the game. He really was winning when he pushed through, and I lost this group here. Then that was a win for white, but he just overlooked this one tactic here. In fact, at this point, he just needed to connect this way so that his group was solidly connected to this group, which has more liberties, and maybe even some eyes over here, although not yet. it's still a liberty race, but it would have more liberties than my group, and then he'd be able to kill me at his leisure. So just that one misstep and change the course of the game. But anyway, always look for those snapbacks. When you look at it, it's one way to think about it is when white is surrounded except for the one stone that he captured, then you always have a snapback. Or the other way to look at it is if his capture creates a false eye, right? This is actually just a false eye, an example of a false eye here, because this whole group just has that one liberty, and you can capture the whole thing. Anyway, nice little tactic. I wanted to point out that my opponent was very gracious. He said, thank you, or nicely played after the game. What did he say? Nicely done. Yeah, so I was pretty gracious of him because he was totally winning, and it was just a little slip up on his part that allowed me to escape. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Bye.